Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you very much for joining in for our teachings of Queen Kunti study session. Today is the culmination day. Today is the grand day of culmination of the Kartik month. Today is a grand culmination of the Bhishma Panchaka Vrata. Today is Nimbarka Acharya appearance day. Today is Tulasi Shaligram today is Tulasi Shaligram Shila Vivaha Mahamhotsava. And today is also Shri Krishna Rasa Purnima. So many festivals today. And today we will also be having our final Sandhyakal program at 6 p.m. We will be reciting all of our prayers. Yesterday we completed Bhagavad Gita. Today we will be reading chapter number 12. Because chapter 12 tells us how we can become dear to Krishna. That is the goal of our life, right? We want to become dear to Krishna and we want to become dear to Srimati Radharani. This is the month of Srimati Radharani. So let's continue study of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very dear to Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. We are studying this book written by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, entitled Teachings of Queen Kunti, which is based on the 8th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are currently on chapter number 23. So yesterday when we concluded, we were talking about how Prabhupada is referring to Swarup Damodar Prabhu, right? He's a very wonderful scientist. And he actually Prabhupada asked him to preach according to science, to defeat these logicians, right? Because generally as scientists, we think either spiritual life is scientific, it can be understood with complete logic and intelligence, or we go to the other extreme and think that, okay, this is not logical. This is, just have to have blind faith. But actually, it is in between. We invest faith and we get faith. And there are so many logical conclusions that we can derive from the Vedic scriptures. They are all scientific, right? And Swarup Damodar Prabhu, he himself was a scientist. He was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada used to always ask him to engage into debate with scientists and defeat them, right? So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone else is subject to these 4 defects. Whether the scientists or the greatest educationists of this world, they're all subject to these 4 defects of imperfect senses, being an illusion, and then making mistakes and having this cheating propensity, right? Making mistakes is very inevitable, right? Whatever we do, some mistake or the other automatically creeps in, and oh my God, I didn't realize this mistake happened. And sometimes purposefully we are cheating just to get more money or to to save our face from a difficult situation. It's very easy that we want to simply cheat and get out of difficult situations. And then we are always under illusion. If somebody were to ask you, we identify ourselves with the body, right? Because we are under illusion. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm working for so-and-so company, right? All of these things are bodily designations, but that's not who I am. But we are under the illusion. And then we have imperfect senses. Like yesterday, Prabhupada was mentioning how the sun appears to be with a diameter of 18 centimeters or 18 meters or whatever. From here, when we look at it, it looks like a round ball. But what is the size of the sun? The sun is even bigger than the earth, right? So in that way, our imperfect senses, when we rely on our imperfect senses, we will never arrive at the right logical conclusions. So on that note, let's continue reading from our teachings of Queen Kunti book by Srila Prabhupada. We are continuing from chapter number 23. So let me share my screen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah. So we ended yesterday wherein Prabhupada is talking about this Swarup Damodar Prabhu. He's a scientist. And our contention is that to become perfect, one must take lessons from the perfect. We should not mentally speculate because we are subject to the 4 kinds of defects. Okay, let's continue reading. Shobha Mataji, want to read? Krishna is perfect. So we take knowledge from him from there. Hare Krishna. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, 1 second. Now my laptop speaker is not working. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, Hare Krishna. So finally we are able to share the screen and we are also able to hear, hopefully. Let's see. Yes, Shobha Mataji, please go ahead. Krishna is perfect from there. Mataji, I'm still not able to hear. What is wrong with this? Just give me 1 second, devotees. Why am I not able to hear? Mataji, speak. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Speak now. Let me see if I'm able to hear you. Oh, Krishna. Just give me a second. Let me try the other mobile. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, try unmuting.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
audible?
Yes. Okay, once again, let's try Shobha Mataji. Yes, Shobha Mataji, try. Mataji, the fault is from your end. Okay, Krishna. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Quickly, let's go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranams. Haribol Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Chapter 23, Natural Prosperity.
Krishna is perfect. So we take knowledge from him.
Oh, okay, from there. Okay, Hare Krishna. Krishna is perfect, so we take knowledge from him. Krishna says, Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul does not die when the body dies. Therefore, this understanding that the soul is eternal is perfect. Kunti Devi says, Ime janapadaha. Zoom it. Krishna says, Ime janapadaha swaradaha supatvaushadi virudaha. The grains are abundant, the trees full of fruits, the rivers, the flowing the hills full of minerals, and the ocean full of wealth. What more should one want? The oyster produces pearls, and formerly people decorated their bodies with pearls, valuable stones, silk, gold, and silver. But where are those things now? Now, with the advancement of civilization, there are so many beautiful girls who have no ornaments of gold, pearls, or jewels, but only plastic bangles. Only plastic bangles. So, what is the use of industry and slaughterhouses? By God's arrangement, one can have enough food grains, enough milk, enough fruits and vegetables, and nice clear river water. But now I have seen, while traveling in Europe, that all the rivers there have become nasty. In Germany, in France, and also in Russia and America, I have seen that the rivers are nasty. By nature's way, the water in the ocean is kept clear like crystal, and the same water is transferred to the rivers, but without salt, so that one may take nice water from the river. This is nature's way, and nature's way means Krishna's way. So, what is the use of constructing huge waterworks to supply water? Nature has already given us everything. If we want wealth, we may collect pearls and become rich. There is no need to become rich by starting some huge factory to produce auto bodies. By such industrial enterprises, we have simply created troubles. Otherwise, we need only depend on Krishna and Krishna's mercy, because by Krishna's glance, Tava Vikshitaihi, everything is set all right. So, if we simply plead for Krishna's glance, there will be no question of scarcity or need. Everything will be complete. The idea of the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is to depend on nature's gifts and the grace of Krishna. People say that the population is increasing, and therefore, they are checking this by artificial means. Why? The birds and the bees are increasing their populations and have no contraceptives. But are they in need of food? Do we ever see birds or animals dying for want of food? Perhaps in the city, although not very often. But if we go to the jungle, we shall see that all the elephants, lions, tigers, and other animals are very stout and strong. Who's supplying them food? Some of them are vegetarians and some of them are non vegetarians, but none of them are in want of food. Of course, by nature's way, the tiger, being a non vegetarian, does not get food every day. After all, who will face the tiger to become its food? Who will say to the tiger, Sir, I am a philanthropist and I have come to you to give you food, so take my body? No one. Therefore, the tiger has difficulty finding food. And as soon as the tiger is out, there is an animal that follows it and makes a sound like fio, fio, so that the other animals will know now the tiger is out. So, by nature's way, the tiger has difficulty, but still Krishna supplies it food. After about a week, a tiger will get a chance to catch an animal, and because it does not get fresh food daily, it will keep the catches in some bush and eat a little at a time. Since a tiger is very powerful, people want to become like a lion or a tiger, but that is not a very good proposition, because if one actually becomes like a tiger, one won't get food daily, but will have to search for food with great labor. If one becomes a vegetarian, however, one will get food every day. The food for a vegetarian is available everywhere.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hope I'm audible. Hare Krishna. Okay, so this is very interesting. Prabhupada is now encouraging vegetarianism, right? So Prabhupada is saying, we should not be a carnivorous like a tiger. It's very difficult to find food every day, right? The tiger does not get fresh food every day. It goes for hunting and whatever little is whatever animal it is able to catch as a prey, it stores that. It stores in behind the bushes, etc., and has little by little, for probably a week or 10 days until the tiger is able to find another animal and kill it. Yeah. So one should not think that, if I become a tiger, then I will get I will get to eat flesh of animals, and in this way, I will become the king of the jungle and all that. So why Prabhupada is giving the example of a tiger and saying that even the tiger will not get his daily food, right? While even the herbivorous animals like cow, elephant, and all of them, they get their regular feed of grass, right? And we also know that the donkey's thing, regular thing, the donkey carries huge load, thinking that this washerman or the person who's making me carry the load will give me a carrot or will give me some grass to eat. Whereas the donkey can easily find grass in the open. So sometimes we engage in ugra karma, thinking that if I don't do this much of hard work, then nothing. I will not get food to eat. I will not be able to maintain myself. So we are in that illusion that if we don't work really hard, we will not get our daily food, like that. So we will not. What will happen to our future? And that is the reason we engage in ugra karma. But what happens? Prabhupada is mentioning here. Prabhupada is actually mentioning here that the herbivorous animals which are dependent on grass, they just depend on nature. Right? Everywhere there is green grass. Like today, after doing this Bhishma Pitamaha, that Tarpana, I went down to offer put the water in the plants, and then I saw nearby there was a very very big a tree with so many malati flowers. I was so overjoyed because today we are supposed to offer malati flower to the Lord's head, isn't it? So the last 4 days I've only been in Manasika offering to Radha Damodar Bhagavan as part of Bhishma Panchaka Vrata. So today I got so many malati flowers. I have it here also. So I'm planning to make nice garlands and offer it. So we offered one to Lord Krishna, and then one on the forehead, on the head of Lord Jagannath, one on the crown of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So like that, nature is a bounty with a lot of things that we require, whether for worship or for our consumption or for our maintenance or for our sustenance. But when artificially we try to accumulate, keep, plan for the future, etc., then we get into trouble. Then we have to live like a tiger, where the carcass is, you fight an animal, you kill it, and then you keep the carcass and keep it for 10 days and eat it. That is the kind of life we will get if we are born as an animal. But fortunately, we have a human form of life. Fortunately, we have the association of devotees. Fortunately, we are observing Kartik Vrata. Fortunately, we are observing Bhishma Panchaka Vrata. Fortunately, we are aware of Tulasi Shaligram Vivaha. Right? We are discussing the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. Right? How Krishna, killed Shankachuda, and how he was cursed by Tulasi Maharani to become a Shaligram Shila, and how to fulfill the desire of Tulasi Maharani. Krishna even is willing to take the curse, and in this way married Tulasi Maharani. That is a Shaligram Shila, Tulasi Maharani Vivaha that we are also observing today. So whatever Leela the Lord does, right? The nature is also Krishna's energy, right? Whatever is provided in the nature is enough for us to live our life in a sattvic way. But when we try to overdo things, then things get complicated, right? Prabhupada often says in his lecture, to practice Krishna consciousness is very simple. To attain Krishna prema is very simple. But what is very difficult in this time and age, to live a simple life, it becomes very difficult for us, right? So here Prabhupada is encouraging herbivorous because there is more dependent on nature. There is no dependent on over endeavoring, right? But whether herbivorous or carnivorous, right? Only human beings, we can choose to be herbivorous or carnivorous, right? But what is sanctioned for us is only fruits, vegetables, water, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, and grains, right? Anna dhvanti bhutani. By the mercy of the rains, we get nice harvest, and then from the harvest we get nice grains, and then we cook the grains, we offer to Krishna, and then we get by the moonlight. Today Kartik Purnima, we can have nice darshan of the full moon, and then we are breaking our Bhishma Panchaka Vrata, right? So that moon actually nourishes the vegetables, the moon nourishes the fruits, right? All of those things. So everything is provided by nature, and there is a Devata who's in charge, like Indradev, Varunadev. They're all in charge of certain areas by which we get all of these things. So when we offer all of those foodstuffs, like we prepare nice rice and ghee and dal and sabji and then sambar and then rasgulla and then gulab jamun and then all the nice sweets. When we are offering it to the Lord, then we are satisfying all the Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Agni, and all the devatas are also satisfied. Because yatha taror moola nishejanena, when we are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with the ingredients that we are getting from all of these devatas, when we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, When we offer the flowers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then all of these devatas are automatically pleased. And this is the form of worship that Krishna also encourages in Bhagavad Gita. But if we try to artificially create some kind of artificial scarcity and try to work hard to fulfill that scarcity, etc., we are complicating our lives. When we complicating our lives, then we are preparing for a not so good body in the next life. Ahar nidra bhayam aitunam. If we complicate our life, we will not have time for anything else other than ahar nidra bhayam aitunam cha. And when you're doing that, we are preparing our body to become an animal in the next life. Right? Depending on where we are focusing on. We are focusing on ahara or nidra or bhayama or maituna. Right? But having got this human form of life, what are we supposed to do? Samane metam Pashubir Naranam Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho. We need to understand what is my dharma. I've got a human form of life. What is my dharma? My dharma is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is satisfied, then everybody else, whether the devatas, whether my relatives, whether my friends, whether my society, whether my community, whether my country, people, all will be satisfied. But it will not work the other way. So our consciousness, if we are simply having this consciousness to please Guru and Gauranga, everything else, our needs, yoga kshemam, Vahamiham. Krishna says, I will provide what you lack, I will carry what you have. Right? So this promise Krishna is already giving. So what we should do, we should utilize our free will and how I can serve the Lord very nicely, how we can offer fruits, flowers, nice tasty dishes, offer to Krishna, and we can also honor nice Krishna Prasadam after having darshan of the full moon. When we have the darshan of the full moon, we know Gaura Chandra. We can remember Gaura Chandra Mahaprabhu, and then we can break our fast with nice foodstuffs after our 4 days fast for the Bhishma Panchakam. Okay, let's go ahead. Deval Mataji, continue. Now in every city there are slaughterhouses from there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. Now in every city there are slaughterhouses, but does this mean that the slaughterhouses can supply enough so that one can live by eating only meat? No, there will not be an adequate supply. Even meat eaters have to eat grains, fruits, and vegetables along with their slice of meat. Still, for that daily slice of meat, they kill so many poor animals. How sinful this is. If people commit such sinful activities, how can they be happy? This killing should not be done, and therefore people are unhappy. But if one becomes Krishna conscious and simply depends on Krishna's glance, tava vikshitahai, Krishna will supply everything, and there will be no question of scarcity. Sometimes there appears to be scarcity, and sometimes we find that grains and fruits are produced in such a huge quantity that people cannot finish eating them. So this is a question of Krishna's glance. If Krishna likes, he can produce a huge quantity of grains, fruits, and vegetables. But if Krishna desires to restrict the supply, what good will meat do? You may eat me or I may eat you, but that will not solve the problem. For real peace and tranquility and a sufficient supply of milk, water, and everything else we simply have to depend on Krishna. This is what Bhakti Vinoda Thakura teaches us when he says, Marabi Rakhabi, Yo Ichha Tohara. My dear Lord, I simply surrender unto you and depend on you. Now, if you like, you may kill me, or else you may give me protection. And Krishna says in reply, yes, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Simply surrender exclusively unto me. He does not say, yes, depend on me and also depend on your slaughterhouses and factories. No, he says, depend only on me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I will rescue you from the results of your sinful activities. Because we have lived so many years without being Krishna conscious, we have lived only a sinful life. But Krishna assures us that as soon as one surrenders to him, he immediately squares all accounts and puts an end to all one's sinful activities, so that one may begin a new life. When we initiate disciples, we therefore tell them, now the account is squared, now don't commit sinful activities anymore. One should not think that because the holy name of Krishna can nullify sinful activities, one may commit a little sinful activity and chant Hare Krishna to nullify it. That is the greatest offense. Namno balad yasyo hi papa buddhi. The members of some religious orders go to church and confess their sins, but then they again commit the same sinful activities. What then is the value of their confession? One may confess, my Lord, out of my ignorance, I committed this sin, but one should not plan, I shall commit sinful activities and then go to the church and confess them, and then the sins will be nullified, and I can begin a new chapter of sinful life. Similarly, one should not knowingly take advantage of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra to nullify sinful activities so that one may then begin sinful acts again. We should be very careful. Before taking initiation, one promises to have no illicit sex, no intoxicants, no gambling, and no meat eating. And this vow one should strictly follow. then one will be clean. If one keeps oneself clean in this way and always engages in the devotional service, his life will be a success and there will be no scarcity of anything he wants. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So Krishna has given, Prabhupada is giving us the formula that everything is available, provided by Lord Sri Krishna. Only that we need to learn to utilize the things for our needs according to the rules and regulations given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If that is how you utilize those things, then there will be no question of scarcity. The artificial scarcity because of the hoarding, right? Yesterday we were discussing about how there is enough for a man's need, but there is not enough for even one man's greed. For every man's need. That means there is no Prabhupada actually he throws what do you call he actually completely defeats this idea of population explosion. He says the population can never explode. There can never be scarcity because of population explosion. He says there is enough and more for as many people as may be there in the world. But the scarcity is because of this artificial hoarding that is done by few people. So like that Prabhupada explains in the Ishopanishad. And also the last part of the thing Prabhupada is talking about, we should not commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name, right? So we understand that, okay, fine, I should I should take initiation. When I take initiation and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, all of my sinful activities of the past are getting washed out, which is very good. Yes, it is a fact. But then once we take initiation, we take also the vows, right? Even before initiation. In fact, we need to practice at least for a minimum of 6 months to a year. Follow the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and practice. That means you are practicing the principle of Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, and Tapa. Truthfulness, cleanliness, Daya, compassion, and Tapa is austerity. We practice these 4 principles and we also chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, minimum 16 rounds, right? In that we practice at least for 6 months, and then only we go to the point of taking initiation. So when we are getting initiated, we should not think that, okay, now when I'm chanting Hare Krishna, all of my sinful activities, is gone, right? Even before initiation, right? We start chanting 16 rounds for at least 6 months to a year. So even at that time, when we also think that simply by chanting Hare Krishna and then I can go and do any sinful activities like engaging in gambling or this, that, then what happens? Namnod balahi asya papa buddhi. When we have that intention itself will make the holy name not reveal the potency of the holy name, right? As it is when we chant with pure intentions, because our mind is wandering here and there, we're not getting the real benefit of chanting the holy name. And we don't want to make it more difficult for ourselves by having all these ulterior intentions of getting some kind of material benefit, or trying to do some other sinful activities on the strength of the chanting of the holy name, right? We know all the offenses, we chant the offenses every day in the morning. So it's a reiteration to our mind that even when the mind submits any proposal, then we know very clearly what we should do, what we should not do. There is no gray area as far as do's and don'ts are concerned, right? No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex is a clear no. Following the principles of Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, and Tapa is clearly we have to follow, right? Whenever there is a gray area, we already have our Shiksha Gurus who are going to guide us. So there is no ambiguity in actually following the principles of Krishna consciousness the way Prabhupada has taught us, right? Very, very simple. And we have to try to also make our life simple. Very difficult, but then we should try to make our life simple. The more our life is simple, the more we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The less time that is required for maintenance of all these other things and managing all these other things. And more the time we can spend in glorifying Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, singing these wonderful bhajans like Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song here. Kita janma hoy jata tuadas bahirmukha brahma janme nahi ash मारो भीरा को भी जो इच्छा तोहारा नित्यादास प्रतीत हुआ अधिकार मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तोहारा. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning here, right? It's not that if Krishna does not provide, then I go and steal and get the things, right? So मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तोहारा नित्यदास Nityadasa Pratituva Adhikar, right? We should be able to tolerate situations of situations of scarcity, right? Mostly the situations of scarcity are mostly in the mind. If you have an abundance mentality, we can make do with whatever little we have and still be happy, right? Sanatana Goswami, he used to not even go for Madhukari, right? We all know, right? And we have Madhavendra Puri, he used to not even go for Madhukari. Whatever is available, they simply used to, Krishna used to come and personally supply a glass of milk to Madhavendra Puri because he was continuously engaging in serving the Lord. So there is enough and more if you have an abundance mentality. Whatever I may have, I offer it to Krishna and then I honor Krishna Prasadam. So in that way, if you are satisfied with whatever we have, there is no scarcity mentality. But if we don't have a scarcity mentality, then there is no actual scarcity also. Yoga Kshemam Bahamiham. For somebody who's completely dependent on Krishna, Krishna will provide what the devotee lacks and Krishna will maintain what the devotee has. Right? But somebody who's so much over endeavoring, like I was mentioning about Radhanath, His Grace Radhisham Prabhu's example the other day, right? For another 5,000 extra, we want to work for another 12 hours, and then we want to get the spondylitis, you want to get the back pain, and then you're not going to actually enjoy the fruits of our over activities, right? So when we are doing Ugra Karma, we should always reiterate ourselves. Whatever we are supposed to get as per our karma, we will definitely get, provided we make the appropriate effort, optimum effort, like that they say, optimum results or optimum effort. Optimum effort is 8 to 10 hours of work using our intelligence and whatever resources we have got, and work while we work and play while we play. Play means when we are doing other kind of recreation activities also. Like for example, we may pursue, say a dance, or we may pursue some singing classes, whatever. Right? So we can do all of that, but we need to dovetail everything in the service of the Lord. Why am I working 8 to 10 hours? So that I can maintain a decent lifestyle, and then I can establish a lifestyle where my life is centered around Krishna. Why am I singing? Why am I learning singing or some kind of physical activity? So that I keep my body fit. I can utilize the singing skills and singing nice bhajans for the pleasure of the Lord. So everything can be dovetailed in the service of the Lord. And as long as we have the Yukta Ahara Viharasya, Yukta Cheshtasya Karmashu, Yukta Swapnava Bodhasya, Yoga Bhavati Dukha. As long as we are regulated in our eating, in our sleeping, in our recreation, and in our work, we can be very sure that whatever we need will be provided by Krishna, provided we utilize everything in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then we will not have this intention to overwork, the intention of artificial scarcity mentality, the intention of trying to hoard things for the future, worrying about the future, right? Of course, like Rupa Goswami has said, we need to distribute our wealth where we also keep for emergency. So we need to understand and plan our life in such a way that we are prepared at a particular point to completely dedicate our lives in service of the Lord, like especially after retirement, say after 60 or so on, right? We plan our life that at a particular point in time, we want to dedicate everything to the Lord, but we don't know we'll live till 60. So that is the reason even today, at this moment, I want to engage everything in the service of the Supreme Lord. So I perform my Swadharma, whatever it is, my duty as a mother, as an employee of an organization, as a father, as a child, as a daughter-in-law, as a grandmother, whatever is my Swadharma according to my age, right? Accordingly, I should perform my Swadharma, right? Being at 70, 75 also, we don't want to get involved in complete home matters. We don't want to poke our nose in all the decisions, right? When we should step back and allow our other people to live their lives. We have lived our life. Now it is a time when it is the right time, we need to dedicate completely and surrender completely. Once we get our children married, once we settle them in their family affairs, then we allow them to live their life, take their decisions. We've equipped them enough, and then they have to take their decisions. And when we have and then His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was saying, right? You've given them the roots, now give them the wings, right? Even at my teenage daughters, that's what Maharaj told me. You've given them the roots, now give them the wings. Now they are your friends, right? So now give them the wings. You've given them the roots, and even when they fly, they'll be eternally rooted to the roots that we provided, right? So it is not that you are continuously being behind them, etc. All that we should have done until the children are reach their teenage, right? Now they take their own decisions. So now we need to step back, and now is the time we can focus more on our sadhana, more on glorifying the Lord, more in singing bhajans for the Lord, more in studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in this way, when we dovetail our life at all stages, according to what is happening in our life, keeping Krishna in the center of our life, then we'll be able to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, throughout our life. And in this way, at the end of our life, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati anta kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. And we'll be able to remember Krishna अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यप्रयाति समद्भावं याति नाति अत्र संशयः. Krishna says अत्र संशयः, right? So we elevate our consciousness from eating, sleeping, mating, defending to always wanting to remember Krishna. How can I remember Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? How can I make garlands for Krishna? How can I offer Malati flower to Krishna? How can I prepare nice boga and offer it to Krishna before I break fast nicely after the darshan of the moon? Every activity that we do, if we keep Krishna in the center of our life, then we will be successful. Krishna will ensure our success. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. So today is the Kartik Purnima. We'll meet our evening Sandhya program for one last time today. I invite all of you to join us at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time for our Kartik Sandhya program, where we'll be reciting all the prayers. And Bhagavad Gita, since we completed yesterday, we will be we'll be chanting the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which will tell us how we can become dear to Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Keshava Pahi Ram Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rakshama Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rama Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Vahima Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rama Raghav Rakshama Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Jai Jagannath Jai Jai Baladev Jai Jai Subhadra Jai Jai Subhadra Jai Bala Gopal Jai Sri Jai Jai Buddha Shri Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Gopal Shri Krishna Gurumati Shri Krishna Minarking Shri Krishna Guru Mayur Jai Radha Krishna Jai Radha Guru Parvata Ram